नमस्कार। तो आज हम लोग कोडिंग करने वाले हैं एक बहुत ही बेहतरीन सीरीज दैट इज नॉन एज राइट अ कोड टू प्रिंट fabonacci series. Okay, so we are we have to print Fibonacci series. The first question arises, what is Fibonacci series? So let's take an example of a number 1 to 5. Okay, suppose we have number 0 to 5. If I am writing here the sum of two number, suppose if what is the sum of two 0 0 and 0, that is 0, yes, then 1. Okay, what is the sum of 0 and 1, that is 1, yes. What is the sum of 2 and 1, that is 3. Okay, good. What is the sum of 3 and 2, that is 5. What is the sum of 3 3 and 4, that is 7. Now what is the sum of 4 and 5, that is 9. So Fibonacci series is nothing else but it is a sum of previous two number. If suppose our number is 22, then what is the sum of 20 and 21? That's gonna be that Fibonacci number. So if we are understanding this concept, it is basic concept of Fibonacci series. So for printing this uh, series, first we write hashtag include studio dot h, yeah, and here we use function call concept, that is we take an we put a name fab stand for Fibonacci, and then bracket enter and enter. What we done here, guys, that I use, see, integer and is a also a function, that is int n, and int f fab is also integer. So we can say that integer n is a sub function of int fab. Yes. For the repetition, we have a basic base value where our function gonna be stopped. So here we put our base value, and our base value is here 0 and 1. So when our function come to 0, it give return value 0, and if a function uh, come to 1, it give value 1. Okay, so so yes, what we do, if we use if condition, if our n is equal to 0, okay, equal to 0, then return value 0, and if n is equal to 1, then return 1, and return fab fab return fab and -1 plus fab and minus. Yes, what we done here, guys, that we use that base amount if n is equal to when in the repetition when n is equal to 0, it's return the value 0, and if it comes to 1, it give and return the value 1. Now what we actually done here, that whenever the term, suppose the fifth term, so what this line means, that fifth terms minus 1, that is fourth, plus fifth term minus 2, that is 3. So here we take sum of two consecutive number before the term. Yes, yes. This is, we use the concept of function call itself. Yes, and this return fab n minus 1 plus fab n minus 2 is repetition, recursion, sorry, recursion. Yeah, so int man in bracket, yes, then int n and print it, enter any terms to print, yes, enter any term to print, semicolon, and whatever the user put the value, we just simply scan it with the help of scan function, and then store it in store it in n. Yes, termination. Now we use for loop to print the repetition. So for int I is equal to 0, because we start from 0, that's why we use 0, and then semicolon, then the stopping value of I, that is always greater, not we use here equal to, and then again semicolon, and we simply use I plus plus. So in each term the value of I is equal to I plus 1. Termination not used here. Yes, so print it, we just print, simply print the value percentage d, yes, percentage d, um, fab fab I I, and we just return the value to 0, and just we simply check it. There is some, I think, error expected, where is semicolon, I just forgot to Fibonacci int main. Fibonacci. Yes, so our code is perfectly right. Okay, I just can random example. Yes, our code is working right now. Now, so what we done here? We first take a user to import enter 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 any terms of how to display simply selling this. Yeah, what here we done, that user put any terms that store in n, that is stored in n here, int n. Yes. So if I use 23 number, so now I explain the internal working of this program. So int fab int n is replaced as int fab 23. Yeah, it check the value. Is it n is equal to 0? That is no. Then it is check n is equal to 1, and the answer is no. So this two line not execute any of its work. Now command pass to return fab n minus 1 and fab n minus 2. Now here int n is equal to 23. Then what is n minus 1? 22. And what is n minus 2? That is 21. Okay. When we recall the function fi, that is that is this f int n, it gives always a consecutive sum of two numbers before this term, and when it is completely done and when come to 1, here 1, if n is equal to 1, it check the value n is equal to 1, and if n is equal to 1, then it return the value 1, that is here 1 1, and then return value 0 is check and give 0, that we have 0. If I use if I just what will what happened right now. Yes, if I put number 17, it gives 0 1 1 2. We can check it. The sum of 1 0 and 1 is equal to 1. The sum of 1 and 1 is equal to 2. The sum of 1 and 2 is equal to 3. The sum of 2 and 3 is equal to 5. Sum of 3 and 5 is equal to 8. Sum of 5 and 8 is equal to 13. Sum of 8 and 13 is equal to 1. So this program is work perfectly. So I think you now learn how to print Fibonacci series, what is Fibonacci series, and how you can simply print it in C language. If you have any problem in any term, you just comment it. I try to resolve that. Yeah, simply thanks to watch. Okay, have a nice day.